the research on the microbiome is such a hot area of medicine today, and such a change from when I was in medical school, when people who took probiotics were health nuts, and we did not see gut flora as having the importance that we now see them have. First of all, I think it's important to recognize that the gut microbiome in our population has probably changed drastically in the past 50 years because of 4 factors. One of them I mentioned was the shift to eating industrialized food. The second is the use of antibiotics, which wreak havoc on the microbiome. And just my gut estimate is that I hope this is now changing. There's some evidence that it is. But I always said that I think that antibiotics are really needed in about 10% of the instances in which they're given. It is very important not to take an antibiotic unless you absolutely have a need to do that. The third factor is the unbelievable rise in cesarean delivery. Now 1 in 3 births in this country, can you believe that? And most of these not done for medical reasons. When a baby is born vaginally, the gut of the fetus is sterile, and it becomes colonized by microorganisms at birth and immediately afterwards. When a baby and those are there for life. When a baby is born vaginally, the organisms that colonize the gut come from the birth canal. When a baby is born by C-section, they come from the mother's skin, and that's a totally different population of organisms. The fourth factor is the decline in breastfeeding. Breast milk has unusual carbohydrates in it that are indigestible. What are they doing there? You'd think evolution would have weeded them out. It takes energy to make these things. Why are they there? They are prebiotics that feed certain strains of organisms to the exclusion of others. So if you look at the combined effect of these 4 things, I think a reasonable conclusion is that the gut microbiome in our population is nothing like what it was 50 years ago. So for that reason, I think it's important to attend to the health of your microbiome. Start by eating natural whole foods. The microbiome researchers that I know are much less enthusiastic about probiotic supplements than they are about eating fermented foods. I think it is desirable to eat fermented foods regularly, and that means sauerkraut, kimchi, live pickles, yogurt, fermented soy products. These are also very easy to make at home. I make my own sauerkraut regularly. I make pickles. I think it is good to eat these things. I would take a probiotic supplement if you have to take an antibiotic. If you're traveling, in parts of the world where, GI diseases are easier to pick up. But otherwise, I think you're better off eating fermented foods regularly.